it like it's competing in Singapore? Similar to Japan or more like the U.S.?
Singapore and Japan, I think they're much different. Yeah.
The crowd's different?
The crowds are different. Yeah. Singapore's, I would say, I would call it a little more Americanized. Like as far as the food, the fans, it's a bit more Americanized. Japan's always been like a culture shock for me. It's like so much different than the United States that it's like you have to prepare yourself for that. Singapore wasn't so much like that. You're gonna get English speaking. You're gonna get really good, like the same kind of. You'll be able to get the same kind of foods we got. I love Singapore. Singapore was a great trip.
When Eddie started fighting, you remember when Vitor started, and Jeff Blatnick puts on TV about Vitor Belfort. He says no known weaknesses. They used to do strengths and weaknesses. Comes to be no known weaknesses. But Vitor was a Gracie Jiu-Jitsu black belt. This is how he represents himself. Then he knocks everybody out. He's got these really fast hands. And Eddie was Vitor for me, because we all knew he could wrestle, but it was all hands. He'd knock people out, and they were so fast. Boom, 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 boom. Fight's over.
Did you grow up wrestling or boxing?
I boxed. I boxed in Philly a little bit, not at even a competitive level, just going to the gym. And then when I got to high school, my first year of wrestling was 9th grade. And I became 2-time All-American by my junior and senior year for high school wrestling. Didn't do college and went straight into MMA. I was pretty much on my own at 18, and I just I'm gonna try fighting.
First fight you were 18?
First fight was 19 years old for Lou Neglia Ring of Combat. It was my first fight. I was 19.
Did you strike or try to grapple?
I did striking first, and then I took him down, and I KO'd him, and the ref never stopped the fight. It was like 11 unanswered blows to the head. Ground, really bad, violent, vicious.
That was before commissions, though, right?
There was I believe we had the New Jersey Athletic Commission.
Oh, you did have them.
Yeah,
right.
It wasn't like a smoker or anything like that. There was a commission there, but. My following fight, I weighed whatever I weighed, 167, and I was able to fight at like 185 because my opponent dropped out, so I fought at 185
sure.
last second. So
they
like
switch it.
that was going on. Yeah. That wouldn't go on.
That was normal.
Yeah.
That was the norm back then. I had my 5th fight before I ever saw a scale. We'd tell them what we weighed. Somebody would call in. But we didn't even think that was weird. You see, you 100. It was just different. Wrapping up the hands.
You were when you started, Chael, exactly.
I started it. Well, actually, under Matt Hume.
What was your first?
Okay, 1997.
97.
Was my first ever match. 20 years old, and it was open hand. You could do what you wanted, but open hand, no gloves. And they called it pancration. But Matt Hume was actually the promoter of that.
He was like the godfather,
right.
Him and Boss.
That's right.
Right.
But I mean, think of that. So my career, I start with Matt Hume, who's in a little room, like this.
Yeah.
And now he's at ONE FC, and here we are with beautiful lights and cameras, right? I mean, how the world has changed for us.
Did you ever get a knockout, pancration?
No.
No? I seen guys get knockouts with the hand like that.
The Boss
used it to teach it. We used to mess around with it back in the day, but never got a KO like that.
Well, that was one of those things. The theory, the intent behind the open hand slaps was that you couldn't do that. And then Boss realized, hey, wait, this is harder than my knuckles. And started, the intent was not to do that, and then he did it. And you're like, I guess that was legal. Yeah. So we did it again, and then he did it again.
And he go, boom, and a boom, and a boom, and a boom, boom, boom.
And when was your first knockout?
My first fight. Yeah, I finished my first 9 fights by way of knockout. I sincerely at 19 believed I was the baddest man on the planet. Like that no one could beat me in a fist fight. In my mind, I got beaten in high school wrestling matches, but if someone was to say, well, how about a fight? I really believe there's no doubt in my mind that anybody could beat me in a fight. So when I tried fighting and I went 9-0, I'm like, see, I told you so. I fucking knew it. And I was putting people away. And I was just weighing in. I fought at welterweight. I started my career at welterweight, and I did my first 10 fights at whatever I weighed, welterweight. I was just in a lot of street fights from 17, from about 16 all the way to 19, just in trouble and out in Philadelphia, doing bad shit with bad people, and then getting in a lot of just nonsense. And then I just decided, hey, I'm gonna try this because I I really believed no one could beat me in a fight. Like I really believed that. I was delusional.
Well, it sounds like you were close to right. I mean,
Where did that belief come from, though?
Oh, probably my father. Yeah, my dad was like, yeah. My dad wouldn't even let me believe anything else. He would go, yeah, you are.
is he
no
still
one could
around,
beat
by
you.
the way?
No.
Is he still? Okay, I'm sorry.
Unfortunately,
I'm sorry. He passed. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all good. He shit. He lives in me.
Sure.
He lives in me.
Sure.
But,
May I ask when? Was he around to see you win the world championship, by example?
Yeah, it was.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
So,
all right. That makes me feel good, actually. I'm happy to hear that.
He got to see it. I know your story, Chael.
Yeah,
but,
it's a tough spot, right? It's a tough sketch. You want him to see. It's like, no, hey, this worked out, and
Yeah.
I want you to know.
Yeah.
So.
And I even tell my siblings, everyone, I'm like, their body dies. Like he lives inside of us. Like there's things that I do and my brothers do, and like things that go on that my dad's still here. He's still here. You're not going to convince me he's
That's
not
right.
here.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.